So welcome back, everyone. We got a bunch of newbies in here right now. I have with me Jennifer Stupski, and she is the owner of Legal Stuff. Welcome to the show. You got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. I love that you call it Legal Stuff. Now bring that mic right up to you so they can hear you. Go ahead. We're live on Facebook. So we're live on Facebook. So hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show right afterwards.
Okay, so Legal Stuff, primarily I'm a legal document preparer, which Arizona and California are the only two states that recognize that certification. We have to get licensed with the state. We are not paralegals. Paralegals have to work underneath attorneys. We can work outside of attorneys. We can do almost anything an attorney can do. We just cannot represent you in court, and we cannot give you advice. So that being said, anything I say here is for educational purposes only. It should not be construed as legal advice.
And that's okay, because really what I think is important for people to know is they have options to not, maybe they don't need an attorney. Maybe there's something their case doesn't really need that. And it doesn't always mean that you even need an attorney at all, because you do a plethora of different things. Some of the different things that people wouldn't know about, let's talk about.
Exactly. I do primarily probates, trust administrations. I do anything with real property, transfers of ownership. Those are my biggest, facet of business.
And before you came on, you also said that you do estate sales. I had no idea. Why would you need, have to have a document preparer do work on that with you?
Well, it's not necessarily on the document preparer side. I'm also a licensed fiduciary. So I act, a lot of people here, obviously they vacation here and they have second homes here. So when they pass away, all their family is out of state. And so they hire me either to be the PR, to actually execute the estate and to process everything. And so in order to do that, you have to get rid of all the estate assets.
So if somebody, and what a great idea, because, first of all, everybody, I wish I knew that. Because when my dad passed, even though we had somebody there, it would have been nice, because people fight, right? I mean, they do over the littlest things. But it would have been great to have someone like you, not only for the fact that to disperse everything, right, fairly, and also you don't have your heart invested in it, right? But also the other thing is that you could have looked at something like some of the paperwork and made sure something was happening correctly, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's what's really important too. When you work with people, do you work with them valley-wide?
Yes.
Okay, so you work valley-wide. And how does that work, especially right now with the COVID situation? How are you working with people?
So for the most part, attorneys refer me. They're familiar with my services. I do a lot of independent paralegal work. They hire me to do a lot of their probates. And if there's someone out of state, they hire me to be the PR. So it's just more of a networking. I don't really advertise a lot. It's just,
Now you are.
I know. Thank you. But we've got so many blended families right now, and that's where the issues lie.
Let's talk about that. What do you mean?
So a lot of times people are married 2-3 times now. In Arizona, it's a community property state. So if someone passes away, the kids I don't think understand, or the second or third wife don't understand that they're not entitled to the whole estate. They're only entitled to maybe 50% of a 50% of a certain percentage if there's no estate planning documents in place. So get the documents in place.
And that's another reason why to speak to you, because can you help people with that part of it too? It's not just about signing the documents.
Yes, and that will be one of our future broadcasts.
Okay. Now, when you, people though, you said that a lot of times attorneys, they will recommend you. But can somebody who's listening call you without having that recommendation?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that phone number to call her is 602-457-2333. You do free consultations with people?
I do.
She does, and also she's rated with the Better Business Bureau, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. And I think what's nice is that not only are you, we can call you a document preparer, but a fiduciary. Are all of them done like that, or no?
No. No,
Okay.
I've just things have just progressed along that path. I just saw as a legal document preparer and doing probates for attorneys that there were a lot of cases where elderly people didn't have children. Their children just owned them, or they were out of state, or someone didn't have anyone to take care of the estate. So I went forward and got the license on the fiduciary side to help facilitate and kind of step into that role.
Also, you said that you work with people on real estate transactions. So you really make it easy so that no one has to go anywhere.
That's right. As a matter of fact, you know, if they're my client as a probate, they actually get discounts on the realtor fees.
Okay.
So they're selling everything at a discount.
Now again, that phone number to call her direct, write it down. You may need this now. You might know somebody. That's what I love about my show. I say it almost every show, and that is that this is information for everybody out there, and you just don't know. Maybe you might need it now. I love making sure that you tell somebody about it, because a lot of people know somebody who's in this situation. I don't know what happened to me, but when I turned in my 60s, all of a sudden everybody I knew was having people who were dying around them, their fathers, their mothers, and you know, we all have the same story, right? And most of us got burned, but also a lot of us fought with their, you know, the family heirlooms and all that kind of stuff that probably didn't mean much, but that, you can also come in and help with that.
Well, and that's how I got started, because we got burned. My grandfather passed away, and my uncle ended up taking the entire farm and all the assets that were supposed to go to my mom and his aunt, because
there's always one in every family that does it.
She couldn't read or write, and so you trust your kids, you trust your siblings, and then they end up turning to you, because money does crazy things to
It
people.
really, really does. Now, when you work with people, though, you do work valley-wide.
Yes.
Okay, and you do free consultations. She's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. She's a fiduciary, and that is what makes her different too, right there. And a plethora of different things, not just doing, you know, estate planning, and you said probate, but also you said estate sales. I love that. Also, you mentioned life insurance as well.
Well, I just kind of fell into that one because we started learning more about funeral trust, and a lot of people aren't familiar with that, because I'm also a VA claim agent. And so
She just does everything.
In order to qualify for VA pension claims or Medicaid, you have to have, it's an income ratio. And so a lot of people have more income than they'll qualify for, and so they can pay for their funerals ahead of time with a funeral trust. They used to pay the funeral homes, but a lot of funeral homes are going out of business. A lot of them aren't honoring the
I
prices.
hope mine doesn't. I paid for mine already.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times they'll tell you, they'll go back to the kid and say, sorry, it's $5,000 more. That was 10 years ago when you bought it. And so that's a lot of issues where these funeral trusts now, they actually, it's money in there. It's like an annuity. And so when people pass away, they pick the funeral home they want, they pick whatever they want, they send an invoice to the insurance company, they send it, and whatever's left goes to the beneficiaries. It's really a neat idea.
And is this something new that's been around?
No, I think it's been around, it just hasn't really been published or,
Right.
or marketed.
So
The
if
maximum in Arizona is 15,000, you can't go over 15,000 for those.
Okay, and this is something that you could talk to your clients about as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, that phone number to call her is area code 602-457-2333. Do you have a website?
Yes,
And what's the website?
legalstuffaz.com.
So it's really easy, and I love the way that you, first of all, your personality is awesome, okay?
Thank
And
you.
yeah, but it's also nice to know, but legal stuff, it's like when you're naming your business, what else do I call it but legal stuff? It sounds perfect.
I can't trade in the market because it's too common, legal stuff.
Well, we can figure that out
All right,
afterwards.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. And when times when people call you, especially, obviously, what is the normal call that you get? And once you start working with them, let's say they want to call you on, let's say, estate or doing a probate. Once they find out all this other stuff, do they kind of stay with you for a long time before, you know, as things progress?
Yes, but you know what's interesting is over the last 2 months, it's actually been title companies that have been focusing more, because the deeds that everybody has done in the past 10, 15 years, when you did those quick claim deeds or you did those, husband and wife deeds, but they don't have the words right of survivorship, title companies won't insure those deeds. So we're having to do probate on all of these titles, on all these deeds.
So this is something that you might just be hearing right here on
Check
Networking
your
Time.
deeds.
Tell them again
What
you just said. Repeat it.
Check
People
your
need to hear it.
deeds.
I know,
Make
but
sure they say with right of survivorship. If they do not, you need to get them updated, because the
With
title
right
company of survivorship.
of survivorship. Guys, you might be just hearing this, and that's where that, maybe you know somebody, geez, I know a lot of people obviously married, and I had it the same situation, not anymore, but anyway, but here's the thing about this, when you hear this kind of information, it It might be you, it might be someone that you know, so tell them about it. Very informal. Again, you can want to talk to her at, I've met informative, yes, I should say that. And the number to call her direct is 602-457-2333. Check her out on her website. It's legalstuffaz.com, and she works valley-wide, and also she's A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau. What would be your final words with everyone today?
Just check your documents, keep them up to date, it's very important.
Dust them off, make it easy, just have her come right to you, and she can make sure that all of your stuff is done correctly.
Will
I
do.
said stuff, I don't usually say that, but I can say that this time. LegalStuffAZ.com, call her number is 602-457-2333.
Thank you.